Welcome to the Hilarious Disappointment. My name is Chris Wilson, and you are listening to the podcast. My co host could not make it for today's episode. They will make it next time, and here we go. Trends are absolutely stupid. And what I mean by this is some of these are so bloody stupid and pointless that they don't change anything and they make you look absolutely foolish. Let's roll back to 2018 real quick. Making food into unicorns. Let's talk about that for a second and the idiocy that went into this. yes, yes, because mediocre grilled cheese that's blue, green, and red and purple is still mediocre grilled cheese. You shouldn't be rainbow coloring your freaking food. What are you trying to emulate? That it came out straight out of the unicorn's ass? It's a waste of time and it's absolutely terrible for you. It's got so many bloody chemicals in the dye that it's just gonna be stupid. I mean, what are you trying to like? I know pride is important and everything, but come on now. Or nobody. It's the glitter phenomenon too. That happened. You put it in your coffee, in your donuts. Why? Or on pizza. I saw that too. It was actually funny because I was out. I was at Boston Pizza and I was sitting there and I ordered my food. Right, waitress being all nice and everything. Lovely lady. I gave her a tip and everything. But when they came, she also walked by and she gave this guy. He was this gay couple, and they got this glittered pizza. And I don't remember Boston Pizza ever having glitter on the menu. Like, how do you promote that? Just, hey, have some plastic inside your system so you can die. I'm not funny. Anyway, but, and these guys, they just sat there and they ate glitter on their pizza. And I don't know how they got it. Maybe they give them to the chef or something, but yeah, they had glitter on their pizza. And they sat there and took 5 minutes taking pictures of it. Like, why? Why would you do that to your food? It was perfectly good the way it was. Or when you do it to coffee, it's almost as bad as like the charcoal foods. Oh my god! Don't even get me started on that crap. Hold on. The charcoal food, like just when we're getting the hang of the latest trends in foods as being rainbow colored of all things and glittery, we have the new color that has arrived. The one that has sponsored the "It's not a phase mom" movement, and that it threatens to darken the mood, but in a good way perhaps. It's black. Yes, pitch black foods and beverages. You see it in coffee and milk and stuff because they put charcoal in the food. Charcoal. Like, yeah, you could use it to clean, you could use it to brush your teeth in certain toothbrushes, but come on, why are we putting it in cake, ice cream, coffee? What are we doing? Or it's sweeping the net from hamburger buns to crackers to ice cream and IKEA hot dogs. What are we doing? It drives me nuts because I see this whole thing with my own generation. And I'm Gen Z. Now, bearing that in mind, I'm a young person. However, I was born in 2001. Now, I'm in that awkward phase where I'm not a 90s kid, but I'm not a retarded Jake Pauler either. So, keeping that in mind, I'm in that weird phase where I'm not the responsible adult I should be because I'm 17 and barely making it. But I'm also not absolutely challenged in that way. And it's funny to me seeing things like the slime things like that, or like the ASMR. Who needs to be listening to people eat food? Like, I'm sorry, like, what was it, like, and they always have those weird, like, systems for ranking the food, too. It's not like they have, like, good cuisine. They just go into their car, pull up through the drive-thru, all fat in all their glory, and just order a double cheeseburger from Burger King, and they get views. We're literally giving them views and money to keep being fat bucks. Like, I'm sorry. Have we not occurred that we're enabling people to be fat because of these trends? And it gets just videos online and it gets views and it makes money for people. We're literally paying people to be retarded. We're literally paying people to ruin our generation. Let that sink in for a second. Because, what is it, like, you have these people that go into their cars and they'll sit there and just eat super loudly as they have mac and cheese or some burrito or something from Taco Bell, and we all know that's gonna fly out in the morning. And they always have this weird thing where it's like, come on, guys, let's beat this out. And, they have that weird thing, it's like, on a scale of something to gay, I'd gay it again, or something like that, and it's bad. It's just so bad. It's not even just food too. It's fashion, like the blogger jackets. What is the point of that? Like the whole goal of the blogger jackets, if you didn't know, was to put it over your shoulders and just wear it on your shoulders. The arms don't go through or anything. It's just sitting on your shoulders. It's not providing anything. And like, I'm sorry, yeah, it's a fashion thing and it looks good on some people, but where's the practicality in this? You've completely cut out the point of the jacket. Or the nails, like the corkscrew nails, the giant nails are the ones with things with spiders inside of them, like the amberlized spiders and like the resin and stuff like that. Like insects, you're gonna put an arachnid on your finger when you go to eat. I'm sorry, I know it's not gonna affect the food, but I couldn't do that. Or like whatever happened to bullying? We're gotten to a certain point where everything is just being accepted, including Tide Pods. I'm not even going to get started on that because there's no need for that. But everything has become so accepted now that no one is being called out for anything. Like, whatever happened to bullying? Whatever happened to that? Or just fighting? Whatever happened? Like, now we're so insensitive to fighting or conflict. Just, if we're that sensitive, just play Red Rover. Clothesline the people you don't like. Seriously. And then it doesn't even end there, because we have the PUBG and the Fortnite war. Which, Fortnite is won already, but it's still going. Or then we have TikTok. Don't even get me started on TikTok. It's all freaking 12-year-old fuckboys and fuckgirls and pedophiles. That's literally it. And it doesn't end. Then you go on Instagram and you have influencers and stuff that'll put out stuff, and it's absolutely stupid. It was like, let's think back here for a second to the New Zealand shootings. 50 people died in mosques, okay? People died on a terrorist attack in live streams. Families were ruined forever. White people rallied and they protected these Muslims so they can go pray in their own church. But you know what people focused on? Instead of the talking we should have had about this, they were focusing on, get this, Kylie Jenner's new fashion line. Not the new line, but new products that were coming out. Fuck Kylie Jenner. Fuck her. We're not supposed to be focusing on this. We're supposed to be focusing on the dead people and the families that were torn apart by a terrorist. But no, here we are with 2019 trends. Or let's move, or like Cyclone Idai, where it killed over 1,000 people. Yeah, no, we don't focus on that. No, let's hit up TikTok and go dance with a Spider-Man in front of a bunch of pop figures. What are we doing? And it's just gotten bad. And then we have the school system. Because with the whole school system, too, with all these trends, you have people walking in with the sheer dresses, the tiny purses, the unnecessary shoulder bags. When you have a backpack on, these people will come in polo shirts, a jacket of Gucci, obviously. Of course, you have to have Gucci, which I hate how that turned into slang. Please tell me how Gucci became a slang term. Somebody explain that to me. How did that become a thing? What, I'm sorry, it's a brand. And when the first time when someone said to me, "Oh, I'm Gucci," I wanted to slap them because I knew what it meant, but you actually used it unironically. Where do people get this stuff from? And I love how it was a brand too. It's not even like it's a play on word. It's a fucking brand. It's its own problem, and we have all these issues. But yeah, you have polo shirt, Gucci jacket. Actually, no, I'm getting the order wrong. It's polo jacket, shoulder bag, like a satchel, obviously Gucci, with whatever in it, like maybe a phone or something. They're usually empty. Then you put on your jacket on top of that to hide the $700 satchel. Then you put on your backpack while your stuff is. This happens. And then they have their Gucci belts, which are bigger than their entire package on most of the guys. And then they hang it down past their ass. Like, I'm sorry, they're trying to show off to girls and stuff, but yet the people that are mostly looking at their ass are guys. And it's bad. Who are you trying to show off for? Never mention how they are in the locker rooms at school, and forget that. You know, you'd think you have to be old to hate your own generation. Nah, I'm 17 and I hate it already. And I'm not gonna say that I'm perfect or anything, because not gonna lie, I've had a lot of lying problems with my parents, and I've done a lot of crappy stuff as a kid, and as a teenager. That'll be another story for another time, but I've been a bad kid, and I get that. So it's not like I'm innocent, but I'm not challenged. And that's not to say I'm making fun of mental illness. It's just, why do you need to act this way? I don't understand. Because then you have these people that or SJWs entirely, like entire sense of the words, and the feminists that are at my school now, because it started off with these little girls going up in elementary school, seeing the feminist movement start making its rise, and then carried it straight into high school. So you can't wear certain things without being ganged up on by a group of people and have a scene to which everyone thinks you're in the wrong. You can't say your mind without one of them being offended and having an entire squad on you, harassing you, social media, real life, and otherwise, and ruining your friendships and relationships because they can't stay out of their own business. They can't mind their own. They have to be in other people because they're desperate for attention. And they seem to think that they're entitled. Like, they're better than us. Like, I had this one girl in my construction class. So let's call her Lisa. And Lisa is the perfect epitome of an entitled little bitch, for lack of a better word. And I say this because she doesn't ever come to class, and when she does, she doesn't do anything. She sits there on her ass, looking all pretty, to which she's not. She's an ugly fuck. I'm not even gonna lie. She looks like she's anorexic, but overweight. It is such a weird thing, because she's overweight, she's chubby, but then if you look at her, you can almost see her ribs, and her face is so skinny. It is the weirdest thing. And, she sits there and has so much makeup on her face that it's coated. Like, there's a face on her makeup, not makeup on her face. And it was like Kingpin met anorexic chick meet drag queen. I kid you not. And she'll come in, be an a-hole to everybody, and then because of this, and because of the way she acts and the way she talks and the things that she'll do, our teacher, who wants to keep his job, has to give her entitlement over everybody else. So while we're hauling ass, trying to cut the wood, get the pieces, measure it all out, work with the miter saw, work with the machines, all she's had to do is take a stencil, write it, have someone else cut it, and then just assemble it. It's like she's just taking IKEA parts and assembling it while we have to build, make, and do it all and redo it when we mess up. And it's because if it doesn't happen, she's gonna feel like she's being attacked, and she doesn't feel safe in the classroom because guys are being mean to her because they expect her to act like a functioning adult, which she is. Well, I wouldn't say functioning. That's a very light term on that. And it's just, and she's just so entitled, and then has the audacity to judge other people and act like a bitch. Like, I'm sorry, honey, sorry that I don't wanna sit here and accommodate to all your trends and all your nonsense. Sorry that I have an opinion. Sorry that I have a brain that has feelings and opinions, lady. I am so sorry. Maybe next time I'll be an evil terrorist like you seem to think all white people are, and I'll just go shoot up the school. Oh wait, I'm not gonna do that because I'm normal, which is more than can be said for my generation, unfortunately. And I'm getting really heated about this, I know. I'm going on tangents. But I think what's mostly shaped my generation to be so bad with all these trends and everything is both trends and the generations before us. Because there was Gen X, Gen Y, and then Z. Gen Y was the millennials, the one before us. I am in Gen Z. And there was Gen X and the baby boomers. Baby boomers have their own thing, and that's an entire different topic for another podcast, if I ever do it. And then there was the ones before that, our grandparents. And then there were the millennials, which are mostly our parents. My mom is a millennial, but she was very, very early millennial. She just barely made the cut. But there's the millennials, and then there's us. Now, these millennials that have having kids at such a young age aren't responsible and are irresponsible, only terrible parents have just let their kids do whatever they want because they haven't grown up. And a lot of that has to do with divorce and separated parents, but, and that's just its own thing. Because when you have separated parents, like if you live with your dad, you're way too masculine. You think being a man is lifting 350 pounds and being able to change a carburetor. Well, that's not being a man. Being a man, I think, is being able to admit your own weakness, not care, and do what you have to do as a person. Not sit here and have to show off and swing your funny balls around to impress literally no one. But then if you grow up with your mother and your mother only, then you're going to learn all the feminine things, which is very important. We all need to have a feminine side, even as men. But then that's it. We don't have any masculinity in us, and we just accommodate to these things. And a lot of that comes from divorce, because relationships are easy. Breaking up is hard, and divorce is probably hard. It probably costs a lot of money too. Never mind all the other nonsense that comes with it, but aside from divorce and everything, a lot of it comes from the raising that these millennials give, because a lot of them are impatient, they're too quick, and they're way too young, so they can't raise a child. So then you get to my age, when we've been brought up this way, and these kids are just complete idiots, like absolute morons, and that's because they've been just allowed to do whatever they want their entire life. And that's why I get angry when people say that Gen Z is the best generation to grace the earth. No, we are the worst generation to grace the earth. And I say that because arguably we have the best minds. We have the best minds. We have everything that we ever need. We're just so fucking lazy that we can't get off our asses and do it. And it's really a shame, because then people that have done it, like me, and try, it just shows that it's bad. And then we're just left aside, and then the rest of the world hates us, and then we hate them too. Like, most people hate me, and it's cool, because I hate them too, and I will straight up tell them that. And that's just because I think, even though I might be very irresponsible, and for a lot of reasons, because, well, one, time is a construct, and two, I have ADHD, but I think it's mostly that I can come from a certain position of stigma and still be smart. And I try to do that because I want to be better than everyone else my age. And they say in a study, actually, it was a really good study, it was that happiness, and that this isn't the only factor of happiness, but a lot of your happiness is from being better than your immediate surroundings. Like, if you have a group of friends and you're better than your friends, you're probably going to be a lot happier, because you're king of the hill. So then a lot of these kids, these young irresponsible twats that are even my age, will go surround themselves with garbage people, and boom, they're king of the hill. And it just doesn't get better, because they don't have anything to look up to, and then all the smart people are on their own, because they know better. So then we're left in this position where we have the dumbest people of the generation, the most irresponsible, and like a small percentage of smart people left in the world, who actually want to do things, and it's not going to be enough to keep the train going. It's very like that. And something else I notice is religion has taken a very odd turn with this, because a lot of it involves racism, sexism, homophobia, and irresponsibility and stupidity. And again, as an admitted atheist, I don't believe in any religion, and I think it's absolute crap. Like, there's so much evidence to back it, but that's again another topic for another podcast. But when it comes down to it, with religion has formed this generation so much, because all the stupid people that I find that follow these stupid trends or think they're cool and do all this stuff and are complete a-holes are all Christian or Catholic or something. They're all religious, and that's why we have so many racists at my age, ones that aren't so upfront about it but have to be subtle to keep their racism. And a lot of it is from parental. I won't say that it's religion that's causing it, because that would be unfair of me, but it's bad. Like, and then you have people, like an old friend of mine, who I'm not friends with anymore, because he was a very abusive person, and to put up with it for so long, I think says something about me, but that's besides the point. But, he would come to me and tell me every day, die queer, kill yourself, your fashion sense is shit. And he said a lot of these things, not the fashion sense and everything else that he was abusive for, and all the other stuff that is, but it's a long story. But he would say a lot of things. He would say the N-word in a non-ironic sense. He grew up with a stepdad of a Nazi, and he was heavy Christian. So he believed that the gays shouldn't exist, and did all that. And I love to point out how he cherry-picked everything, like how back in then he would, God, the lover of all people, that made everyone equal so that we can love each other, not only gave specific instructions on how to have slaves, but gave loopholes so that you can kill your slaves and not be in trouble for it. Or when some boys who were acting like boys called an old man Baldy, so God, the lover of everybody and the creator of children, sent bears to maul 42 children. 42 boys mauled by bears because they were acting like boys. But heaven forbid, you can rape, kill your children, kill everybody, rape your women, then force them to marry you. You can have slaves, you can conquer nations, you can do whatever you want. But you can go to heaven if you do all of this. But you will go to hell if, get this, You eat shellfish. I'm going on something else now, but the whole thing with homophobia and women and race, a lot of it comes from these religion, and a lot of that's where a lot of racism sprouts from. And a lot of people think, oh, it's the smart people that have been raised a certain way that are racist. No, we're the exact opposite. We can talk about it ironically, but we make sure very clear that we don't hate these people. Like, some of the best people in here are black, Muslim, gay. Some of the best people in the world are. Neil Patrick Harris, one of my favorite actors, he's gay as a freaking rainbow. I still love what he does, and I don't hold people against it for that. But it's the acceptance of religions and genders and such has just opened up the acceptance of racism and different things like that. And that's another reason my generation is so messed up. But aside from all that, it's this allowance and acceptance of everything that has allowed these trends to sprout. It's absolutely cursed, and it's stupid. Like the 2019 Bird Box Challenge. Oh my god. So I don't exactly know who started this, whether it was Jake Paul or it was just something stupid. But people would get into cars and drive on the highway blindfolded. They'd be cranking it at 90 miles an hour on a freeway. Excuse me, voice crack. I'm pubescent, leave me alone. But they'd get out onto freeways, crank at 90 miles an hour, and just be blindfolded. Not a single damn care in the world. It was absolutely insane. And this went on for a little while until people started getting hurt and dying, just like the Tide Pods did. It's bad. And then you had the whole trend. Did you know that there are 1,000 different genders? 1,000 documented. And I'm going to give you guys a guess on something, okay? I'm going to give you a few seconds. I want you guys to just, in your heads, think about what aquagender means. Aquagender. Think about that for a second. Now, I'm sure most of you haven't gotten it, and I don't blame you because I didn't either. But aquagender, as I found out, and I'm reading it right here, is a gender that varies depending on what type of water you're nearby, whether it be a pool, a river, an ocean, or a pond. So if you're near a pond, you can be a female lesbian, but if you're near an ocean, you're a straight man. That's literally what it is. And there's so many different ones that people are slipping into this, and it's bad. This was a thing for a while. Pedosexual. And it was the attraction and love of minors and small children. And this was being accepted because it was now written as a gender. And people were identifying as that, and nobody wants to assume genders or anything like that, and people want to be dumb that way. So they sat there and accepted this and didn't do any research. And then it comes out later that it was just straight pedophilia. It was literally the attraction and a sexuality for liking small kids. It was bad, and nobody questioned it for a long-ass time until a few smart people started making some videos and saying, what the hell? And thank God for that, but it took too long for that to happen, and by then it had already been accepted, and it took too long to get it back out. To put it bluntly, we're focusing on the wrong things. Like, instead of focusing on what's going on in the Middle East, or the terrorists, the Taliban, how in the Middle East, a bunch of terrorists shot rockets at people's homes. They sat there and just killed innocent people for literally no reason. And now the defense force has now gone in and is now combating this in self-defense. And the U.S. President Donald Trump has given approval of this. I don't know why he would need to, but he gave approval of this, and a lot of everything say, yeah, defend yourself, and they're fighting terrorists. But instead of thinking of that, we're not doing that. No, 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 no. We're sitting here having big ball of water desserts, so it looks like a giant teardrop gelatin, rainbow teeth, and creative brows. This is what we're having, along with edible cookie dough. And I'm sorry, can I talk about uncooked cookie dough as well? Gag. It's uncooked cookie dough is only acceptable as tiny nuggets and ice cream. That's the only time it should be accepted. I mean, it's delicious, but it's still too much. And I don't want an entire red cone full of gooey grossness loaded with so much chocolate that I'll have diabetes. Like, I'm gonna get halfway through and I'm gonna have a stroke. Seriously, and it's part of the rainbow trend too, as well, with the whole setup. And it's just straight cookie dough. Do you know how bad that is for you? Like, it's actually so bad for you. Like, it's terrible. And then you have the whole freaking, all these other food trends, Like, what was it again? I ended up hearing something where it was, you put Cheeto powder in other stuff, and like that's not necessarily bad for you, but it's absolutely disgusting. Like, I swear to God, I think people just make stuff up just to have something they said was theirs. It's bad. And, and it gets to a certain point, where do we draw the line here? Where do we draw the line in all this stupidity? Because we deal with this on an everyday basis. And I'm finding that a lot of young people are smarter than adults, but then adults are looking down on us for good reason, but there's never a middle ground. We can never seem to find a middle, and that's a problem with the development of my generation. Because if we don't find a middle, things are just going to keep happening and it's not going to go well. There's still fun there's still fun things going on, like there's certain things that are kind of funny. Like, there's stupid trends. Like, there's the really dumb trends where you would T-pose in the bathroom and sing the Halo 3 song. That died quick as it should have. But then there's funny little things you can do, like, and then there's good things you can do. Whatever happened to the trash tag challenge? When you would take a ton of trash bags, go to the most disgusting place you could find littered with trash, and just clean it. You would clean it till it was spotless, and then take a picture in your cleaning gear with the dozens of bags you had behind you, and you would call it the trash tag challenge. You would better your community and follow a trend. It was the win-win situation, but instead, we're sitting here, driving on highways blindfolded, and doing all this crap, which not only makes us look dumb, which is a lose, it literally has no good purpose, which is another lose, and it also sets us at disadvantages, which is another lose. We're just shooting ourselves in the knee, not the foot, the knees. And we just keep on firing. And when we run out of ammo and the trends die, we just load up another clip and we're ready to go. It doesn't end. It doesn't end at all. And that's the thing with trends. They don't die. And that's a problem. They're never going to, and that's okay. Because there are some that come out, and there are great trends. I will give it that. But, and then there's other things like the open shoulder, the face tattoos, all that stuff. Or like the giant phones, the fucking galaxy clothes. The clothes where you have galaxies and stars written all over them, and it looks absolutely bad. It looks terrible. And you have all this stuff, but then all the good ones are just forgotten, to the point where you never see them anymore. And it's really hard to find a good one. And that's just where we're at with media nowadays. It's all the negativity and conflict. And that's the thing with you can't be known for anything good anymore. That's why all these drama channels and everything on YouTube, Twitch, all these other things, these new channels, that's why they focus on these social media trends and these hits and these drama, is because that's what gets views. That's what people want to see. They don't want to see good. They just want to see everything go bad. And I'm guilty of watching these, not gonna lie. Sometimes when I want ideas for, like, starting this podcast, this is the first episode, so woohoo. But when I'm looking for different things and I just want to know what's going on, I will watch these, but I don't sit there and need to talk about it with people for hours and hours about literally something that's pointless. Like, where is it going to be in, like, a week? It's not gonna be anywhere. And, like, I love the things that can come from it, like, when Logan Paul came out as a flat earther, the jokes of him in another movie, The Flat Earth, To the Edge and Back, was starring Logan Paul. It was awesome. But, and then, we have the actual movies that come out with these people, and they're absolutely terrible. Yet, some of you might know that here in Ontario, in Canada, if you're listening from anywhere else, OSAP just got cut. And what OSAP is college tuition and grants. There was this program, an awesome program with OSAP, that if you go with it, you can get a lot of free grants and you can get free tuition depending on your family's yearly salary put together in the household. Now, this was helping a lot of people and it was going to motivate people. Now, Doug Ford, in his fat, steak-eating looking ass, came in and got rid of it. It's been cut now. And now people are rallying, but no one cares about that. No one cares about that, no. No. Let's just go look at whatever the hell the Paul brothers are doing. And I find that to be absolutely sad. I really do. Because then you got to think here, where is that going to end up? It's not going to go anywhere. Because, and then we have that. And now all these young people my age in Ontario are now saying they probably don't want to go to college because it's going to be too much for them. And they're not going to be able to handle it. And that's absolutely disgusting. Like, I'm sorry, how did Doug Ford even get that passed? I know he's the premier of Ontario and he's the runner of the province, but come on, man. How did you get that going? What, did you just go to your cabinet with people fatter than you, just have a steak and make them salivate over it or something? So that you just offered it to them so they could do that? I'm sorry, did you just go in your office and you go, I want more money, so I'm gonna go and cut everyone's college. And then you just have your other people sitting there like, yeah, Doug, can I have some of this steak now? And it's like, well, you gotta pass the bill here to get some of the steak. It's like, can I just have some now? No. Oh, well, I guess we'll just pass the bill then. And this is where we end up now. Because he just makes some fat guy salivate over it and got probably what he wanted. And a lot of people are probably getting ticked off at me about political stuff, and I know that's not the case. But it was an absolutely foolish decision. It's just going to worsen the economy, it's going to screw things over, and that's just because that's just how people are. They want money or they have some decision that's not going to help anyone in the long run. And I find it absolutely retarded that he thought this was a good idea and put the time in to do this. I don't know why people voted him, but, never mind our prime minister. Don't get me started on Trudeau with his crap. But, yeah, he's going to be gone soon. I know that much, with the 2020 election coming up. And, that being said, with all this stuff going on, there's so many more important things to focus on, but instead, we're still worried about the lip challenge from Kylie Jenner. That's still a thing, surprisingly. Or the tiny sunglasses that barely fit your eyes. Those are the things we're worried about. Chokers and face tattoos, or rappers with numbers in their names. Not what's actually important. And I think that's where we've gone wrong entirely as a generation. So, I think that's going to wrap it up for today's podcast. This was the first podcast, so if there's any rough parts or you found any problems with it, please let me know. Send me a message, comment, do whatever you got to do. I like you more than a friend, and I'll see you guys in a bit on the next podcast. Bye.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.